Clear? So what is the law of conservation of linear momentum, beta? If all the forces are acting on the particle is zero. See, when all the particles are acting on one single point, such type of a force is called as of what? Concurrent forces. Clear? So if all the forces act on a single point, then momentum is said to be conserved if and only if net force acting on the system is equals to zero. That is something very important to do the problems in this. Clear? So one of the basic application of this one is Lame's theorem. If you might have been remembered this one or not. Lame's theorem. Okay. So now see, it states that if any three forces are acting at a point, beta, if three forces are acting at a single point part of a relation, whatever the given condition you take, like say for example, so that all the three forces are forming, like F1, F2, and F3, and the total particle or system is said to be in equilibrium, then each force of that particle will be proportional to the sine of the angle between them. Clear? Like say for example, if I am taking the force like this is one point. Okay, on this one there is one force which has been acting like this. Okay, there is another force which has been acting like this. Arrow mark is very important, beta. Okay, and there is another force which has been acting like this. Okay, the three forces are acting on one single particle, isn't it? One single particle. Like say for example, if I'm taking this force right now here, this force whatever I'm taking is nothing but F1. This force is say for example F2, and this force is say for example F3.
Sir, F1 particle మీద ఎట్లా యాక్ట్ అవుతుంది సార్?
ఏనా
F1 ఆ పాయింట్ దగ్గర లేదు కదా సార్, ఎలా యాక్ట్ అవుతుంది?
F1 is acting on F2, F3 కదా. F3 is exerting the force on your that point. Indirectly it is exerting the force.
Yes sir.
Okay, now tell me the angles made by this one, beta. Anyone? Angles made by this one. In the vectors, how do you take, beta? If this is a vector, you extend this one, arrow with this one, extend it with the tail. Then you extend this vector in this direction, angle made by this one here, and you extend this vector in the direction in the arrow mark. This will be one angle. Clear? Let's see, when you take the angle between any two vectors like this is your A bar and this is your B bar. What is an angle between them? A bar and B bar means what you'll do? You will extend the A bar and make an angle theta with your B bar. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes,
isn't it? So whatever the angles you are taking right now, let's say for example, this angle is an alpha, this angle is say for example gamma, and this angle is say for example some beta. Yeah. So three forces are acting on a particle which is in equilibrium. Now this each force will be proportional to the sine of the angle between the other two forces. That is only the statement you need to remember, beta. In equilibrium, no need of derivation. In equilibrium, I can say that each force is proportional to, now you need to give me the formula, beta. Proportional to the what? Sine of the angle. Sine of the angle between the other two forces. This is the statement of your Lame's theorem. In equilibrium, each force is proportional to sine of the angle between the other two forces. Clear? Is it clear? Isn't it? For F1, the opposite angle is alpha. For F2, the opposite angle is beta. For F3, the opposite angle is gamma. For F1, opposite angle is alpha. For F2, opposite angle is beta. And for F3, opposite angle is right now for me gamma. Clear? If I need to draw still in the basic condition, like see, if I take this one particle, one force acting on this particle is like this. One force acting on the particle is like this. One force is acting on this. This is your F3 in this direction. This is your F2 in this direction. And this one is your F1 in this direction. See the diagram? See this. F1 is in this direction. So I kept that value F1 as it is. This is your particle. Okay. And F2. See where is the value of F2? See, F2 is in this direction. isn't it? And F3 is in the downward direction. So on that particle, if I'm taking this, will be the angles. Okay. Now tell me what will be the angles, beta? F1 की opposite angle है मतलब ना? F1 की opposite angle is alpha. F2 की opposite angle is right now beta. F3 की opposite angle is right now for me gamma. Clear? Very, 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 very important, beta. So what is the condition right now? In equilibrium, each force is proportional to sine of the angle between the other two forces. Like say F1. F1 is proportional to sine alpha. F1 is proportional to what? Sine alpha. Because the alpha is the angle between another two forces. See the statement. See the statement. In equilibrium, each force is proportional to the sine of the angle between the other two forces. Now, if I'm talking about F1, for F1, the other two forces are F2 and F3. Angle between them is alpha. So can I say that F1 is directly proportional to? Okay. So what is the condition? Can anyone tell me? F1 is directly proportional to sine alpha. F2 will be directly proportional to sine beta. And F3 will be directly proportional to your sine of your gamma. Okay. Now if I take the ratio of this one beta, so I can write this one as F1 is equals to some constant K into your sine alpha, and F2 will be equal to your K into your sine beta, and here F3 is equals to some constant K into sine gamma. If I take the relation between them, F1 divided by your sine alpha is equals to some constant K, isn't it? The same way, F2 divided by your sine beta is equals to some constant K. The same way, F3 divided by your sine gamma is equals to some constant K. So therefore, all the constants are same. So I can say here F1 divided by your sine alpha is equals to your F2 divided by your sine beta is equals to your F3 divided by your sine of your gamma. So this is your force. So when three forces are acting on a single particle and the system is in equilibrium, then the force is directly proportional to the sine of the angle between the other two forces. So you remember like that, so it will be easy for you to do the problems. Very good, isn't it? So F1 by sine alpha is equals to F2 by sine beta is equals to F3 by sine gamma. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now see these basic conditions, which you already know it. Now see, if I'm talking about any spring, it is exerting some force, spring force, and this is some constant K. What is spring force relation, beta? Spring force is always directly proportional to displacement in the opposite direction. That means spring force will be equal to minus of your K into X. What is K here, beta? Spring constant. K is nothing but what for me? Spring constant. That means K will be equal to your spring force divided by your X. Minus sign indicates me what, beta? Negative sign tells about the displacement opposite to spring force, isn't it? So spring force is in the front direction. That means in this diagram, if I'm taking this condition right now, when you are pulling in this direction, there is your F external. Extension of this spring is in this direction, beta, front direction. So what happened? This spring will get extended like this. So for this external force, this is your extension. This is your extension. And spring force is in which direction, beta? Spring force is in the opposite direction. This is your spring force. So spring force is always opposite to your displacement. Displacement is in the front direction. Spring force is in the opposite direction. Is it clear for everyone? Is it clear? So what is an X, beta? X is nothing but your elongation, I can say. Or we can also say your compression. It may also be your compression of your spring. So X is either the elongation or X may be either the compression. Very regularly it comes with. Exactly. So when you are applying an external force in the front direction, spring force exerts in the opposite direction and displacement is in the front direction. See, this displacement is in this direction. isn't it? And spring force is in opposite. That is the reason spring force is directly proportional to displacement in opposite direction. And negative sign tells that the displacement is opposite to your spring force. Is it clear for everyone? Is it clear? Sure. Next application. Now if I say that if lift is at rest or it is moving with constant velocity, or it is moving with your constant velocity. What is the condition, beta? Lift is at rest or moving with your constant velocity. Constant velocity means acceleration will be 0. Is that clear for everyone? Isn't it? So therefore, I can say that, therefore, change the pen, yeah. Apparent weight will always be equal to, apparent weight will always be equal to your true weight. That is nothing but equal to how much? Mg. So apparent weight will be equal to true weight if the body is at rest or moving with your constant velocity. Like say here, if this is your lift, and if the lift is at rest, so force acting on this one is the weight of the body in the downward direction that is connected by the string. So tension in that one is T. So T will be equal to your how much? T will be equal to your mg. This T is right now what for me? Apparent weight. Mg is nothing but your true weight. Okay, this can also be represented by your F. Clear for everyone? Okay, so next one. Now tell me, if I'm talking about the second case, if lift is accelerating, if lift is accelerating, well, it is accelerating with an acceleration, say for example A. Okay, there are two cases in this one. There are two cases. One, either the lift might be moving in upward direction or the lift might be moving in the downward direction, isn't it? Say for example, case number 1. So this is your lift, this is a tension. The weight of this body is acting in the downward direction. Lift is moving in the upward direction. Case number 1. Lift moving upwards. Moving upwards. Okay. So when the body is moving in the upward direction, so how do you write the forces? All the direction in the direction of motion. So what do you need to write? All forces in the direction of motion. The direction of motion minus opposite force. Opposite force must be equal to m into your A. Must be equal to m into your A. Yesterday I told you that if it is an accelerating body, we apply a pseudo force on this one, isn't it? So as the body's acceleration is in the upward direction, pseudo force will act on this body in which direction better? Body is moving in which direction? With an acceleration A in the upward direction. So pseudo force will act in the downward direction, opposite to the motion. That will be equal to how much? M into A. Clear? Is it clear? Any doubt to anyone?
No doubt, sir.
Now tell me, if the body is moving in the upward direction like that, so all the forces in the direction of motion. Now tell me what all the forces are in the direction of motion of the lift. Tension T. Is there any other force in the direction of the lift? No. Minus opposite direction force is how much for me? In the direction opposite, M into G. That will be equal to your M into your A. This A is right now your what? Pseudo force. So T will be equal to M into your A. This minus will go there. So this will become for me Mg. So T will be equal to your M into your A plus G. Okay. So when it is moving in the direction of upward, tension will be equal to your A plus G. Is it clear for everyone?
Sir, can you once again explain the pseudo force point?
Okay. See, but a pseudo force is nothing but the force which comes into play if the body is having acceleration. Now, what is the direction of acceleration of the lift in the upward direction?
Upward.
So, as it is an accelerating body, so Newton's laws are not applicable. So, we introduce the concept of pseudo force. Pseudo force always acts in which direction, beta? Opposite to the motion. As the lift
Yes,
is
sir.
moving in upward direction, pseudo force will act in the downward
Opposite.
direction. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, let us try to do this one. Take a paper and try to do everyone better. See, clarity is very much important in this one. Complete chapter is based upon this one only. This one. Writing the force equation. If you understand the force equation, then everything is fine. Now, see what I'm doing is lift is moving downward direction. Lift is moving downward. That means, like say, this is your lift. You know that lift is been connected with a string like this, isn't it? And there is a mass of this lift. The mass of the lift is always acting in the downward direction. Acceleration of this one is also in the downward direction. So acceleration, lift. This is the lift. So lift is moving in the downward direction. Now, can anyone tell me what is the direction of pseudo force?
Upward, sir.
Upward, opposite to direction of motion, Gada. Pseudo force is always opposite to direction of mg, or force. As the body is moving in the downward direction, pseudo force will act in the upward direction. M in theory. This is your pseudo force. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So tension in the string is also in the upward direction, but the body is moving in the downward direction. Now, can anyone tell me the equation? In which direction the body is moving? What I told you, how to write the equation? How to write the equation you see here?
mg minus t is equal to ma, sir.
Yeah, all the direction, all the forces in the direction of motion. You need to take all the forces in the direction of motion minus opposite force must be equal to your mass into acceleration. Now see, as the body is moving in which direction? Downward direction. So motion is in the downward direction. Moving downward direction, kabatti m into g in the downward direction. Pseudo force is in which direction?
Upward, sir.
Upward direction. That means mg minus another force is what? T. That will be equal to m into your a. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
The body is moving in the downward direction mg. Opposite force on the lift is T. M into your a is what? Pseudo force. Now tell me what is the tension? This is your mg. This is positive. So this will become how much for me beta? Minus m into your a. Minus T will go here. This will become for me T. So m will be common. G minus a, that will be equal to T. So tension will be equal to your m into g minus a when the lift is moving in the upward direction. Is it clear for everyone? Is it
Yes,
clear for everyone? So when the lift is moving in the downward direction, what is the formula? T is equals to m into g plus a or a plus t. And when the lift is moving in the downward direction, T will be equal to your m into g minus a. What is our basic idea to write the force beta? Can anyone tell me?
యాక్సలరేషన్ ఎటుంటే దానికి ఆపోజిట్ లో సూడో ఫోర్స్ తీసుకోవాలి.
Yeah.
యాక్సలరేషన్ ఉన్న వైపు ఫోర్స్ దానికి దాని ఆపోజిట్ గా ఉన్న ఫోర్స్ కి మైనస్ తీసుకొని ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఎంఏ రాస్తాం.
When the pseudo force is applied, if the body is having acceleration. If the body is having acceleration, then only you can apply the pseudo force. Otherwise, you can't apply the pseudo force. Clear?
ఎస్ సార్.
Chalo, very good. So this was your lift at the rest. Lift is accelerating. The next one. If for free fall, beta, can anyone tell? For free fall, acceleration will be equal to g. Like if you might have been seen the movie of Pokri, there is a scene of a lift in which when the string is being connected or is being cut, the body moves with very huge speed in the downward direction. So at that time, acceleration will be equal to gravity. So whatever the tension is there right now here, that will be equal to the weight of the body here. So this tension T will be equal to your m into g. That's it. Clear for everyone? Okay. Now, if it is accelerating, now what I am telling, I have not given any acceleration. If the acceleration is free fall, means a is equal to how much for me? G. Now write the equation. Mg minus t is equals to m into a. isn't it? So that will be equal to how much per minute? As it is moving in the downward direction, it is mg minus opposite force. So that will be equal to your mg minus m into your a is equals to t. So it is your m into g minus a will be equal to your t. When it is free fall, then a is how much for me? G. So it is m into g minus g, that will be equal to t. So in this case, tension will be equal to how much for me? 0 in a free fall. Okay. If it is at rest, this is for the condition at your rest. If it is a free fall, then a will be equal to g. Substitute it, we'll get the tension is equals to 0. Clear for everyone? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
So free fall tension will be equal to 0. When the body is at rest, T will be equal to m into g. This is for your free fall. This is the equation for free fall. Because the body is moving in the downward direction, mg, opposite force T, that will be equal to mass of this body into acceleration. So A is equals to G. So G minus G is 0. So tension is coming out for me 0. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
And one more very, very important point, beta, applicable for all cases. Tension always acts in opposite direction. Tension always acts in the opposite direction. Clear? Like say,
Yes, sir.
yeah, this is your body of mass of your M. Okay. And there is a string here right now. I'm applying a force. So what will be the tension in this one? Tension force is in the opposite direction. Tension always acts in the opposite direction. For the body, it will be in this direction. Okay. So if I'm making an FBD for this one, so on the block of mass M, force is always away, like say here, T. This is also T. Clear for everyone? So if the body is moving with certain acceleration A, then T will be equal to M into A. Is that clear? Tension always acts in which direction, beta? Opposite direction of block or body. Okay. Now see one more example I'll give you. I've got two bodies right now like this. This is M1 kept on an horizontal surface. There is another block of mass, say for example M2, and this is kept on your frictionless surface. No friction present. We are not introducing the concept of friction here. And both of them are connected by some string. Let's say for example, this is your string. So when you apply this string right now here, string means what, beta? Massless. What do you mean by string? Tension, sorry, and string. String means massless wire, massless and inextensible wire. Okay, where tension at each and every point is same. You might have been seeing the movies of James Bond. See, when he tried to jump from one building to another building, in his pocket he will be carrying like a small gun type of a wire, isn't it? So he will try to fire it. A small thin wire will try to go for another building, which is like say for example 40 floors or 50 floors, and that person can easily slide on that one and go to the other end. Such type of your bodies are called as of your strings, which means the mass of that one is means mass and it is inextensible wire. It is nothing but of your massless and massless and inextensible wire. So mass almost all we consider as 0, like a sponge, isn't it? Jelly, mass is almost all negligible, isn't it? Like a bubble, mass is almost all negligible. So tension in the string means what, beta? There is no mass and it is always inextensible. It is not going to inextensible. Right now we are talking about only those type of wires which are massless and inextensible. In the next session, we'll be trying to talk about even the wires which is having the mass. How do we calculate the mass at the different point? That we'll try to discuss in the further sections. Now, right now in this one, if you try to write the forces on this body, on this body, on this body, on this body, everywhere the tension will be equal to T. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you make an FBD for this one, I'm applying on this body a force, say for example F. The total body is moving with an acceleration A. Now I'm writing an FBD for FBD of M1. Can anyone tell me what is an FBD of an M1? See here how I'm drawing. This is your M1. Okay. So on this one, there is only string connected. So this is only the tension. The acceleration is same. There is nothing but A. Isn't it? The same way. If I'm talking of your FBD of M2. So this is your M2. On M2, now tell me what are the forces acting? Can anyone tell me? One force is in the front direction. That is your F. Opposite direction force is nothing but T. The body is moving in the front direction with acceleration E. See it better, very carefully. Tension always acts in the direction opposite to the direction of the block or your body. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Like if two bodies of M1 and M2 are connected by one string, tension at each and every point will be equal to same, provided it is a massless and your inextensible wire whose tensions at your each and every point is your same. So if I'm taking M1, on M1 only the string is acting, that is T, and acceleration of this body is how much? A. Because if the M2 is moving with A, M1 is also moving with your A, because if two bodies are connected by single wire, if the front body is moving with some acceleration, backside body also moves with the same acceleration. Isn't it? Unless and until you resist it. We're not talking about any resistive force right now here. Clear for everyone? On M2, how many forces are acting better? One is your applied force F, and opposite force, that is nothing but of your T. Now, can anyone tell me how do you write the equations of this one? For M1 and for M2. I'll use the white pen. See, this one was your M1. This one was your T1. And the acceleration of this one is here. So T1 will be equal to mass M1 into your A. On this body, this is your M2. It's M2 only, the first body which I have taken. Yeah, M2. In this direction of force F. In this direction, F2. Body's acceleration is front direction. Now, how to write the equation here? Can anyone help me?
F minus T is equal to A.
The direction of force. Yeah. And I'm moving in the direction of the force. So that force you need to write first. So capital F. Opposite force of this one is T. That will be equal to mass into acceleration of that body. Mass of this body into acceleration of that body. Isn't it? So this is my equation number 2. This is my equation number 1. So from 1 and 2, I can write F minus, substitute the value of AM. This is the tension how much right now? T1. So this one is also T1 because the tension is same. So T1 value is how much for me? M1 into your A is equals to your M2 into your A. So F will be equal to your M1 if it goes there, M1 into your A plus of your M2 into your A. So that is equals to M1 plus of your M2 into your acceleration A. So therefore, common acceleration will be equal to applied force divided by sum of the masses. So A is equals to your F by your M1 plus M2. Is it clear for everyone? Any doubt in this one?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what is the tension? T1 will be equal to how much? Now, calculate tension T1. Can anyone calculate it? E1 is equals to M1 into acceleration. Acceleration is how much? F divided by M1 plus M2. So that will be equal to F into your M1 divided by M1 plus M2. Clear? Because T1 is equals to M1 into A now. So we got the value of your A. Substitute the value of your A, F by M1 plus M2. So T1 will be equal to how much? F into M1 divided by M1 plus M2. Got everyone how to write the equation?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? And see, we are talking about frictionless beta. We are not introducing the concept of friction here. Capital F is your applied force. Capital F is in the front direction. Tension T1 is in opposite direction. There is no friction. We are not talking about any friction force. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Let me give you one more example. This is your plank here. There is a pulley here, right? and here there is some block. Say for example mass M1. And there is here another block here. Say for example M2. And both of them are connected by some string. The string is being passing through this one. Like this. So one single string is connecting the block M1 and M2. And again, it is a frictionless beta. We are not talking about any friction. Friction is equals to 0. Okay. Now if I'm saying that M2 is greater than M1, then with whatever acceleration this body moves in the downward direction, this body also moves with the same acceleration in the front direction. Agreed? Agreed? If M1, M2 is moving in the downward direction and M1 is on the surface and if the string is massless, this is T, this is your T, this is your T, and this is your T. See how I'm writing the tension T. Now write the forces on the block. Write the forces on the block. What are the forces on the block? This is your M2 into G, and this one is your M1 into G. There is a normal here right now. Here. So normal N must balance your M1G. Then only body moves. That means that they are cancelling each other. So N is balancing your M1G. So now only force which is acting on M2 is what beta? M2G. Now how to write the equation for your M2G? In this direction the body is moving, downward direction. So how do you write the equation? M2 into G minus the opposite tension T is equals to M2 into your A. Clear? See, FBD of M1. Can anyone tell me what is FBD of M1? This is your block of mass M1. This is moving in this direction, acceleration A. Only force acting on this one is T. Clear? Now, if I'm talking about your FBD of M2, that means this is your M2. M2 weight is in the downward direction. Acceleration is in the downward direction. Tension T is in the upward direction. So in whichever direction it is moving, that force I'm writing. Here this T will be equal to how much? M1 into A. So this tension here will be equal to how much beta? In which direction? M2G minus of your T. Isn't it? On the block of your M2, there is no tension in horizontal direction. So is there any tension which has been acting on the horizontal direction beta? No tension. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So now I've written the equation. Downward force M2G minus opposite force T is equals to M2 into your A. What is the value of T beta? T is equals to M1 into your A. Now substitute that value here right now. So it is M2 into G minus M1 into your A will be equal to your M2 into your A. So this is your M2 into G is equals to M2 into your A minus will go there M1 into your A. So it is M1 plus of your M2 into your A. This is your M2 into G. So acceleration will be equal to M2 into G divided by M1 plus M2. Any doubt to anyone in this? Any doubt in this one to anyone? Can anyone tell me what is the tension beta? Can anyone tell me what will be the tension? Tension will be
M2G.
Yeah, T is equals to your M1 into your A. That means that will be equal to M1. Acceleration is your M2 into G divided by M1 plus M2. So this will be the tension. What an idea? What an idea?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Who is this? No one has got someone. Sidra, what you have not understood beta? You can unmute and talk beta.
Yes, sir.
Whichever direction the body is moving, that force minus opposite direction. That will give me the net force. I'll give you one more example. Very famous example, which you might have been even studied for your IP exams. Atwood's machine, which is used to lift very huge blocks, like while constructing of your flyovers, isn't it? So Atwood's machine is a combination of one single pulley and two blocks like this. This is your pulley, and this one is massless. Okay. And here this one is fixed. Like in the well, when we in Rajasthan, if you see it, they go for the water and they try to take the water from the wells. Like say there is one block here right now. Like say for example M2. There is your another block here right now. Say for example M1. I am saying that M1 is greater than M2. Now tell me, it is one single string, beta. If it is one single string, tension at each and every point will be same. This is T, this is T, this is T, this one is also T. Now if I write the weight of this body, weight of this body is here M1 into G. Here it is your M2 into G. Now see it carefully. If I am talking about this T and T, what will be the force on this hinge, beta? T plus T. T plus T. That will be equal to 2T. Isn't it? If I take an equilibrium, the T and T are equally sharing between them. Clear for everyone? Any doubt in this one to anyone? Now write the equation. Which is greater, beta? M1. So M1 moves in the downward direction with an acceleration A. With whatever acceleration M1 is moving, with same acceleration, M2 will move. Is it clear for everyone? If M1 is moving in the downward direction, M2 will be moving in upward direction because M2 is connected by one single string. Isn't it? If the acceleration of M1 in the downward direction is 2 meters per second, acceleration of the body M2 in the upward direction will be also 2 meters per second, but as it is opposite, we write it with your negative sign. Clear for everyone? Very good.
Yes, sir.
Now write the equation better for M1. F B
M1 G minus T
so
is
for
equal
your
to
M1.
MA.
So this is your M1. The weight of this body here is M1 into G. The tension here is nothing but the body is moving in the downward direction. How to write the equation? In the downward direction, M1G minus opposite tension T is equals to M1 into A. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
F, B, free body diagram for your M2. Free body diagram. Free body diagram is all the forces acting on the body. So this is your body of M2. And no doubt weight always acts in the downward direction. Have you seen anything weight is acting in the upward direction, the gravity, unless and until we talk about buoyancy? In general cases, weight always acts in the downward direction. Here also tension T, but acceleration of the body is in the upward direction. Now how do you write the equation better? Anyone? Sidra?
T minus M2G is equal to MA.
Yeah, T minus
M2G.
M2 into G is equals to your
MA.
M2 into your A. Isn't it? So this is my equation number 1. This is my equation number 2. Now see, I'm not deriving the derivation because it is of no use for us. So directly, if you need to remember this relation, you can directly solve the problem. But still, for your convenience, I'll write the standard formula of your tension. If you simplify after solving 1 and 2. See, I can solve it, but it is not required. Make sure of that. Even if you solve it, after solving, you need to just remember the standard relation to save the time. So tension T will be equal to your. In which direction the body is moving, beta? Downward direction. So it is your downward force minus net force. That is your M1 minus of your M2 into G divided by total mass M1 plus of your M2. So I can make a trick right now here. What is the trick you see right now? Tension T will be equal to net pulling force. Net pulling force divided by total mass. Can anyone tell me what is the net pulling force?
M2, sir.
Okay, like say generally, you and your friend are playing with a string. Both of you are holding the string right now. If I say that if your friend is moving in the front direction with your 10 meters per second and you're applying the force in the backward direction with 2 meters per second, what is the net pulling force? On a body, let's see this one. If you are applying here force of 10 Newton and your another force is right now in the backward direction 2 Newton. So what is your net pulling force?
8, sir.
Very good.
8.
Net pulling force will be 10 minus 2, that will be equal to 8 Newton. Clear for everyone? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, which body is pulling and which body better? M1G is pulling in the downward direction. So M1G is right now what for me? Pulling force. So M1G, see here, what I have written? M1G minus opposite force is what? m2g, isn't it? See here.
Sure.
Because t is equals to how much for me? m2g only, now. If you need to write still detailedly, this one is m1g minus t, isn't it? So t is equals to how much for me, beta? See t in the problem, what is the value of t? T is equals to m1g. So that is the reason I'm writing m1 into g minus m2 into g will be equal to your net pulling force. So that will be equal to F net. Clear for everyone? Any doubt in this one to anyone?
No doubt, sir.
Pakka?
Pakka, sir.
So what do you mean by law of conservation of linear momentum, beta? If net force acting on the system is equals to 0, then the body is said to be conserved. And initial momentum will be equal to final momentum. So you can write here in the spring force part of relation, whatever you're writing. Here I'll write here. Law of conservation of linear momentum. When the momentum is said to be conserved, if net force acting on the system is 0, that means F net is equals to, we know the formula, dP by dt. If F net is 0, that is equals to dP by dt. So it is 0 into your dt will be equal to dP. So 0 multiplied with anything will be 0, so that will be equal to dP. So dP is nothing but what, beta? Final momentum minus initial momentum must be equal to 0. Isn't it? That means initial momentum must be equal to final momentum, or final momentum is equals to initial momentum. Anything is fine for. Okay. So therefore, if I write in masses, m1u1 must be equal to m2u2 initially, isn't it? So ratio of the masses will be m1 by m2 is equals to u2 by your u1. Clear for everyone? Is that clear? Any doubt to anyone in this one?
No doubt, sir.
So these are the basic things which you should always be remembering and doing the problems part. And you know that whenever some force has been acting at an angle, you know how to resolve it, isn't it? When
Yes,
if two momentums are inclined like vectors, two forces, momentum is what? A vector quantity only. No? If there is one momentum here right now P1, another momentum like P2, angle between them is Pt. Resultant is theta. That means resultant momentum will be equal to under root of P1 square plus P2 square plus 2P1 P2 into cos theta, parallelogram law of vector addition, isn't it? So direction will be equal to how much, beta? This is the vector of your P1 and this is the vector of your P2. Resultant is like this. It is your P resultant, making an angle here theta. And here if I'm taking an alpha, alpha is the angle made by the resultant with your first vector. So how do you write the direction? Tan alpha is equals to your P2 into your sine theta divided by P1 plus P2 into your cos theta. I hope you remember the vectors. That is the reason I'm writing it directly. If you have not got the values of your this one, you can once go through the vectors part, resolution of your vectors, and try to remember how to write the values of your alpha part of relation. Is that clear for everyone? Any doubt in this one to anyone? Theta is what, beta? Theta is the angle between vector P1 and P2. Once again, what do you mean by law of conservation of linear momentum? If net force acting on the system is 0, law of conservation of linear momentum means F net must be equal to 0. F net must be equal to 0. So we know from Newton's second law, Newton's second law, F net is equals to dP by dt. F net is 0, so dP by dt. So F net is 0, multiplying with the time, that is also 0. So that is I'm getting as of your delta P. So P final minus P is 0. Or P initial will be equal to your P final. Is it clear for everyone? Any doubt in this one to anyone?
No doubt, sir.
Very good. So I'll try to revise once the complete part. First we talked about is law of conservation of linear momentum and its application. I told you that if sum of all the forces are acting on the system is 0, then the momentum is said to be conserved or the body will be in equilibrium. If net force is 0, I can write here, if F net is 0, that also means the body is body is in equilibrium. So when I use the word equilibrium, F net must be equal to 0. Anywhere in complete physics, whenever I use a word called equilibrium, it should be understood that the net force acting on that one is 0. Is there any doubt to anyone in this one? Sure. Next one is I talked about law of conservation of linear momentum. Just now I told you if net force is 0, then momentum is said to be conserved. So initial momentum must be equal to final momentum. If two momentums, momentum is what? A vector quantity. Momentum is a vector quantity. If two momentums are inclined at theta, then P1 and P2 are making an angle theta, the resultant momentum is under root of P1 square plus V2 square plus 2 P1 P2 into cos theta. What is the theta beta? Theta is the angle between P1 and P2. And how do you write the direction? And alpha will be, resultant is always making an angle direction with your first vector. If it is making with second vector, then you just need to take another angle like beta and simplify it. But 90% we always get the questions based upon the alpha. So that is the reason I'm writing here. Tan alpha is equals to P2 into sin theta divided by P1 plus P2 into your cos theta. Is that clear for everyone? Chalo, next one. I talked about Lamis theorem. Can anyone tell me what is the Lamis theorem? I told you that Lamis theorem is nothing but in equilibrium, the net force acting on the system is 0. In equilibrium, each force is proportional to the sine of the angle between the other force. You try to remember like this statement. If you can't remember the formula, that will give me the answer very well. Like see here, F1 is making an opposite angle for F1 is alpha. Angle made for F2 opposite is beta. For F3, the angle is gamma. Okay, now see, I have taken the free body diagram of that one. This is some particle of mass of your M. On this one, F3 is in the downward direction, F2 is inclined in the first quadrant, F1 is inclined in the second quadrant. F1 is making an angle of your alpha, F2 is making an angle of your beta, and F3 is making an angle of gamma. So I'm writing here right now, simplifying it. So we got the relation F1 divided by your sine alpha is equals to your F2 divided by sine beta is equals to your F3 divided by sine gamma. I hope you're clear with this one. Sure. Next one, spring force. So I'm just giving an introduction, but I will try to do more detail about the springs in work power energy, series, parallel, combination, blah, blah conditions. But right now, remember that spring force is always opposite to the displacement, isn't it? So spring force is equals to minus of your K into your X. Spring force is equals to minus of K into X. Our spring constant will be equal to your spring force divided by X. Negative sign tells that displacement is opposite to the spring force. So what is X here? X is elongation or compression of the spring, depending upon how you are applying the force. Now, if the lift is at the rest, then apparent weight is always equals to true weight. True weight here is how much better? Mg. So this T is balancing your mgr weight. So T will be equal to your mg. If it is accelerating in the front direction, if the lift is accelerating in the with an acceleration A, but in this direction, upward direction. So I'll write with the other pen right now here. Yeah. So if the lift is moving upward direction, then all the upward force minus downward force. What is upward force here right now? T1. Opposite force is mg. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So what is the tension we are getting? T is equals to your m into g plus here. If it is moving in the downward direction, if the lift is moving in the downward direction, then T will be equal to your m into your g minus of e. Clear? Next one. For a free fall, acceleration will be 0. So tension will also be equal to 0. The next one is we talked about how to take the tension. Tension always acts in which direction better? Opposite direction of the block or body. So for that one I have taken the condition. And tension in the string means what better? It will always be massless and inextensible y. So where the tension at each and every point is right now, how much for me? Same. Clear for everyone? Some of the examples I have given for you. Then these are the basic conditions. Direct shortcut formula to calculate the. See, I did a small mistake here right now. This is not the tension. This should be acceleration. No? Very have written like that. Sorry. This is not a tension. This will be equal to your acceleration. because acceleration will be equal to force by mass. Acceleration will be equal to force by your mass, isn't it? So what will be the acceleration of this one? That is equals to m1 into g minus m2 into g divided by m1 plus of your m2. So tension will be equal to how much? 2 times, sorry. So that will be equal to your m1 minus of your m2 into g divided by m1 plus m2. In Haribari, I have written that one beta. Tension is 2 times of your m1, m2, m1 minus m2 into g divided by m1 plus m2. And acceleration is equals to net pulling force divided by total mass. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
No one has observed this one. Thank God I was doing revision. Otherwise, that would have been gone like that one. So tension is how much beta? 2 times of your m1 into your mg divided by your m1 plus m2. Not even m1 minus m2.
Sir, it's minus given. You wrote minus, sir. It should be m1,
m1 into m2. Yeah, I have not solved it now. That is the reason I did a mistake there. So I'll write here right now. I'm removing this. So tension T will be equal to 2 times of your m1, m2 into g.
Sir, why are we taking